Fire didn't just keep us warm, it made us human. Most people look at fire and see something simple: light, heat, something that burns. But if you step back and look at the whole story of humanity, fire is not just a tool. It is the single most important discovery in all of human history. Before we mastered fire, we were just another species of primate, vulnerable, small-brained, limited to where we could go and what we could eat. After we learned to control it, everything changed. Our bodies changed, our brains grew, our societies formed, and eventually, we built every civilization, every machine, and every technology we have today. In this video, we will go back millions of years to see exactly how our ancestors first encountered fire, how they learned to tame it, and the chain reaction of changes that turned a wild flame into the foundation of everything we call modern life. For more than 95% of human evolution, our ancestors lived without any control over fire. Let's set the scene. Around 2.5 to 3 million years ago, the first members of the human genus, Homo habilis and later Homo erectus, walked the earth. They lived in Africa, mostly in warm or temperate regions, but even there, nights were cold, winters brought chill, and the environment was full of dangers. Without fire, life had strict limits. First, body temperature. Humans are naturally less hairy than other primates. When the sun went down, our bodies lost heat fast. We could not survive in high mountains, cold forests, or regions far from the equator. We were stuck in a narrow band of the planet. Second, food. We ate what we could find: raw fruits, leaves, seeds, and occasionally meat scavenged from predators. Raw meat is tough, hard to digest, and full of bacteria and parasites. It takes hours of chewing to break down, and our bodies only absorb a small amount of energy from it. Third, safety. Nighttime was the most dangerous time. Large predators, big cats, wolves, hyenas, hunted under the cover of darkness. Early humans had no light, no heat, no way to keep them away. They had to hide in caves or trees, and they could not travel or work after sunset. And finally, energy limits. Because our food was hard to process, our bodies spent most of their energy on digestion. That left less fuel for growing and maintaining a large brain, which is one of the most energy-hungry organs in the entire animal kingdom. Scientists believe that for hundreds of thousands of years, early humans only saw fire as something terrifying. It came from lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, or spontaneous combustion. It destroyed forests, drove animals away, and burned everything it touched. To them, fire was a force of nature, wild, unpredictable, and deadly. They ran from it, not toward it. The turning point came somewhere between 1.5 million and 800,000 years ago, most likely with Homo erectus, the ancestor who first walked fully upright and began to spread beyond Africa. How did it happen? Probably not in one great moment of genius, but slowly, over many generations. First, humans learned to follow fire. When a wildfire burned out, it left behind something interesting: food. Animals that died in the flames were now cooked. Roots and tubers that were once hard and bitter had turned soft and sweet. Seeds that were tough to chew became easier to digest. At first, our ancestors only ate what was left after fire passed. But eventually, they noticed something else. If they took a burning branch from a natural fire and carried it back to their camp, they could keep it going. They could bring the light and heat to them, instead of searching for it. This was not easy. Keeping fire alive required constant care. You had to feed it dry wood, protect it from rain and wind, and never let it go out. If it died, you had to wait for another natural fire to start again. For thousands of years, fire was a precious resource, guarded like gold, passed from one camp to another, from one tribe to the next. Archaeologists have found evidence of this early control in places like Zhoukoudian Cave in China, dating back roughly 400,000 to 600,000 years ago. There are layers of ash, charred bones, and burnt stones, proof that humans were maintaining fires in the same place for long periods. This was the first great shift. Fire went from being an enemy to being a guest. And once it was in their camp, it began to change everything about how they lived.